What's up, guys? We are continuing our ACC Prospects under review here for the NFL Draft, and I'm jacked up for this episode for a couple of reasons. Number one, great human being, Graham Barton, is joining the show. Love this young man, everything that he's about, everything that he does on and off the football field, the way that he carries himself. You guys are going to love that when you hear it specifically here if you haven't ever heard him speak before. And number two, he's one of the baddest dudes on the football field, okay? He's a big, ugly, played left tackle for Duke for the last 3 years, started at center his freshman year. A lot of versatility, a lot of excitement at the NFL ranks for people looking at that. Where are we going to play him? All they know is wherever it's going to be, all pro, Pro Bowl capabilities early and often. I mean, I think he's a plug and play. Some of the NFL cats, are saying maybe a starter within 2 years. I don't know about that. Jim Nagy and I kind of agree. Day one, he's ready to go. It's just a matter of where do you want him? Where do you want to find him? And, really the way that I look about this is, if a guy played tackle in college and did it successfully, did it at a high level, he's playing tackle till he proves to me he can't play tackle. Now, some might say, okay, Graham's arms are a little shorter than we want, this and that. He's got sweet feet. He's got great hands, heavy in run, light on his feet in pass. He's the total package. He is, when you think offensive lineman, 6'5", 315, bam, there he is. Graham Barton. He's the guy to do it. And, I'm looking at some of his measurables over here and things that, people say. This might be the smallest weakness list of anybody that's kind of been categorized by the NFL, by the NFL.com here. And it's, as I just said, arms are shorter than we like. Occasionally struggles to get into position when redirects. Who doesn't? Needs to guard against lunging at the second level. Hey, we're going to get out and throw. We're going to get out and get after people. And then the last one, corrals escaping defenders with his arms, those short arms, allegedly, that could bring flags. I mean, AKA there are no weaknesses. This guy's game is unbelievable. He has, like I said, great leverage, stays low, really anchors guys out in that run game. And then the sweet feet, the light hands, the punching. He's got it all in pass pro. It's really fun to watch. So I'm going to get out of the way here. I'm rambling. I'm excited. I'm talking about offensive linemen. Really quick, a great message from our friends over at Ingles. They are doing some amazing things this spring. Check out our Instagram. Check out their Facebook. We're going to be highlighting all those different things, ways that you can give back and be involved in your community. Really, really happy and proud of the things that Ingles is doing over there that we will probably end up supporting in some form or fashion. But a quick message from them, and then we're going to dive in. So lock in. Let's go.
Do you know that Ingles sells more organics than any other store? Or that they run their own dairy? Or that they only serve USDA choice and prime meat? Did you know that they have more local craft beer than any place else? Or that they have Energy Smart stores? Or that they professionally slice and package imported cheese from Europe? Did you know about their giant international aisle, local farm partnerships, curbside pickup, wine department? Or that they donate 3,956 meals a day to local food banks? Well, now you do. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the saving.
Graham Barton, welcome back, my brother. Listen, here's the deal. You make me feel like a star right now because you just got home last night and you're jumping on here with me. You need to be resting. You need to be doing 100 other things. But here you are. It's great to see you. Thanks for joining us, my man.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is great. Love hopping on.
No, well, you're the best, man. Listen, there's a bunch of different ways I want to go with this thing, but I think what I'm so interested, every person that we talk to, kind of this prospect series that we're doing is training and just how different combine training, pro day training, all of that stuff has been, was than what you've done your whole life, right? Because we're football players, okay, especially on the offensive line. That's right. But you went to Texas, which, a lot of great people out there. So first of all, just kind of tell us where you were, who you were with, and then we'll dive into some training stuff.
Yeah. I spent, spent some time in Frisco, Texas at the Exos facility there. Had a great group of guys around me. It's places like that are pretty cool because, everyone's kind of focused on the same goal. Yeah. You're dealing with guys who are looking to turn, professional. So it's like, it's serious. It's, guys are dedicated to their work. And so it's a good culture to be a part of. It's a competitive, environment. And, I really enjoyed it. Got to, meet some guys out there who are, made some good buddies, and, it was a good time. It was a good experience, good to be able to go do that.
Was it like an offensive line specific deal, or were other people out there? What were we looking at?
Now they had different position groups, and then
Cool.
each position group has a position coach. But it's a little bit tailored to what group you are. But for the most part, it's a similar training regimen because
Yeah.
it's more about getting you ready for the combine drills and that as opposed to football training. So
Right.
back at Duke now, definitely focused a little bit more on some football training. Back with Coach Feely and the
Oh,
strength
come
staff.
on.
So
We'll talk about
yeah,
Coach Feely. We'll jump into Coach Feely. I got some stuff to talk about with
okay,
him, and
good.
excited he's back. First of all, because
Yeah,
there
we
was
are.
I was worried that a little bit. I'll say my point of view, and then I'd love to hear your point of view of that
Yeah.
as well. But look, going back to the training stuff. I mean, how weird was that for you? I mean, had you done anything kind of like that? I mean, maybe the camp circuit back in the day. I mean, literally, we're training to be track stars for a 1 day event. It's the
Yeah.
craziest thing.
It's different, right? The volume's different, the movements are a little different. It's all about power and explosiveness, and it's all about performing at your peak, on combine day. So it's just tailored a little different. It's just it's a different animal than the weight room in college. So especially for offensive linemen, right? It's just not what we're used to. And so it was good. I appreciate the experience, but definitely happy to be back at Duke and getting a little more football training in me
That's
for
right.
sure.
Where we're comfortable. Where we're comfortable.
Yeah,
Just the all underwear stuff, man. It's just it doesn't look good. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. All right.
you want to
Leave that for the
embrace.
skill guys. Yeah, leave that for the skill guys. Well, let's talk about the combine because as you said, you got home last night, and I think the funny misconception, or maybe it is what it is. All we see on TV is the drill work, right? Running,
Mhm.
doing some on field stuff, but that is a long ass time. Like you are up there forever. Number one,
Yeah,
how many days were you there? And then just kind of what does it look like? Don't go too far in the weeds, but I mean, what do you do while you're there for all that
yeah.
time?
So yeah, like the networks and TV and social media have taken the on field stuff and made it what it is. But you're right, that's 1 day of it. That's I mean, you're there from Wednesday, or at least our group. Everyone they stagger the start times, but we got there Wednesday, the offensive line, and then we left Monday afternoon. And you're doing stuff until your flight. So I mean, it's a crazy week. You've got interviews, you've got formal interviews, you got informal interviews, you've got medical for days. You spend a lot of time, at the hospitals there and getting MRIs and X-rays and talking to doctors, and so there's a lot, body scans, everything. So there's a lot that goes on there that I guess maybe you don't always see on TV. That is very important, parts of
Right.
this process that isn't necessarily made super public.
Right. It's so crazy to me. And honestly, when you think about it, and again, you just lived it, but all the people we've heard about, like there's a line like you have to follow, like, okay, follow the black line all the way through until you're
Yeah,
done. And
yeah,
it's so crazy. And
it
everything's
is.
a test, probably. I mean, I don't
Oh
know if you were like looking over your shoulder, like, okay, am I doing this right? I mean, was that
yeah.
nuts or what?
Yeah, I mean, they tell you, you're constantly being evaluated.
So crazy.
There's scouts all over the place. There's personnel everywhere. So, I mean, it's meant to, it's a week. It's meant to stress you out. It's meant to,
Yeah.
make you tired and stuff. And but you've got to smile through it, right? You've got to
Yeah.
realize what you're doing and appreciate the moment and what you're able to do. And so, that was kind of my approach. Just, I knew it was not going to be like the most easy, fun going week, but
Yeah.
just be able to enjoy that and embrace it and be able to go through that whole process is really awesome.
No doubt. It's an invitational and it's definitely an honor to be a part of that. It's a very small select group of people. Was there ever a moment like were you just like walking and like tripped and like look up and a scout's like, ah, dang, writing it down like, oh no, I ruined it. I ruined everything.
Yeah, like spill some water on
Yeah,
yourself, like,
right.
yeah. They had like they had refrigerators at meals, and there's like sodas in there and stuff, and I'm like, I know it's a trap.
Don't do it. Don't do it. There's
There's
like
you
Reese's,
grab
like
the
Senior
soda.
Bowl Reese's stuff everywhere. You're just like, I
Yeah,
can't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. That's amazing. How about
uh,
any weird stories, man? Because it's so every year I love, hearing this team made me, like act or rap or sing or something crazy. Is there anything? Don't tell me the team, but is there anything you were asked to do that was just like, this is bizarre? This is bizarre.
really, I've been asked this a few times today. I went and worked out today, and so I saw some of my teammates from school, and And I got asked a bunch, but really, no. Most
Really?
meetings are, yeah,
God.
most meetings are. I've heard it's changed a little bit. I've heard
Okay.
it's a little more regulated, but to be honest with you, most of it's watching film and making sure that you have a passion for football and that you've got the football IQ it takes to play at this level. And so it's a lot of that. They'll put up bad plays, they'll put up good plays. You don't really know what you're going to be watching, but they want to see how you respond and how you break it down in your mind, how you prepare for games.
Yeah.
So that's some of them. Some of them are just getting to know you as a person, what motivates you, adversity in your life and things like that. So it kind of varies. Everyone does it a little differently. Everyone's
Sure.
got different opinions on how to approach those combine interviews.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a long process, but I mean, you just got to enjoy it. Like I said.
Well, I'm disappointed that you didn't have to like belly dance or something for
I
one of
know.
these teams.
I wish
mean,
I had
that's
a cool
crazy.
story too, but I really don't.
Is what it is. Is what it is. At least you have a story. At least you have a story. Well, something just interesting that you brought up right there is these meetings, like, and you're doing film, and I'm sure there was some board work and things like
Yeah.
that. And I'm always interested. The transition from college to NFL, and in this process, I mean, you might be meeting with 3-4 different offensive schemes.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of stuff went in pre to that? Like, did you guys have like small group work in Texas where you're having to learn new verbiage and new protections and things of
Yeah.
that nature that got you ready for that?
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily. I mean, obviously I had some, it talked to some people what to expect.
Yeah.
I studied on my own, I made
Mhm.
sure, I checked all my boxes. I knew, I had my offense down and understood, made sure, I knew what I was, I was able to, verbiate what I wanted to explain and
Right.
things like that. I mean, you do a little bit of board work, you want to make sure that you can draw the formation right. And just, so
Yeah.
it's like, you don't need to do it much, but
Did you know what over was? Did you know what over and under were?
yeah,
Please.
yeah, I did. Yeah, I knew all this stuff. I guess
Good.
because I had some meetings early in January and I knew
Sure.
everything and I knew I was going to do well, but a lot of it's being able to, say it with confidence and be
Yeah.
like, so you're not saying a lot of and you have like, if you organize it in your brain. So when you're
Mm.
presenting it to someone, you're not kind of all over the place and
Yeah.
because you've only got 20 minutes in these interviews, right? You're trying
Right.
to impress someone in 20 minutes. So just organizing it in my mind and so being able to go up there and all right, draw up your favorite play. And then being able to do that, make sure I hit the talking points that I, want to hit.
Right.
Just doing things like that. So yeah, met with, my position coach and a couple times just prepared,
Yeah.
talked to some people who had some former experience with the interview process, got some advice and, some
Awesome.
things. And that was kind of how I prepared for it.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. And I think what you just said there, the confidence piece is so big. Like,
Yeah.
just say it, and
Yeah.
that guy might ask you, and he doesn't even know. He just wants
Yeah.
to see how you say it. And
Yeah,
I
you
think
go
that
into
is
a room with 20 people,
right.
and it's just you and everyone's
Yeah,
looking at you. It's like you've
yeah,
got to know your stuff because the
that's
second you
right.
don't, you're up there, you're like you start to, so
You
I
start to
just wanted
sweat
to
a
make
little
sure I
bit.
was confident going into those meetings. And so that
No
was
doubt.
all the prep was, you've been in the same offense long enough, you know it.
Right.
You just got to make sure you can present it.
No doubt. No doubt. That's awesome, man. Well, that's great to hear. One thing that is so interesting to me is just the timing of all this stuff. I mean, listen, you've been a great player for a long time, and it's everybody else is starting to be like, oh, okay, look out for this cat. Like he's really, really good. And it makes me happy. It makes me excited. Because again, being at the network with ACC, I mean, I've seen it for 3.5, 4 years. And now these people are taking notice. And the biggest thing that keeps coming up is your versatility. When you've been in these meetings, when you're talking to all these folks, what's the biggest trend, I guess, with that? Is it just people laying out, hey, we're going to play you at all five? Is it people saying, hey, we're going to start you at tackle and, you'll prove whether you can or can't? What have those conversations been like?
Yeah. It varies more than I thought, to be honest with you. I
Interesting.
think no interview did I go in there and they're like, okay, no one just declared what they want me to play. But, some interviews I felt were more, centered toward, directed towards me like, hey, so if we put you at center, could you do this and this and things like that. And then I think other meetings was more kind of open-ended. It's like, we think you play all five,
Right.
So it's like every team's got a different opinion on it, to be honest. But, honestly, I think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like if, some teams think, hey, he's got to move inside. Some teams think, he can play tackle. Some teams think I fit at center. Some say guard, so it's just, everyone's got a different take on it. So just, I guess that just speaks to it. No one can really figure it out. So like, I think that's a good thing, right? Like,
Sure.
People are like, hey, you can play all five, I guess.
At
So
the same time, he's the only guy out there.
That adds value to me, and I think they're right. I think I'm athletic. That's how I've been. That's how I've made a name, I guess, in college football. Playing offensive line is with my athletic ability and getting off the ball and being twitchy and getting in the right positions and leverage. Right. And I think I can do that whether I've got a hand in the ground or a ball in my hand.
Right.
I'm able to move in different patterns and stuff like that. And I think that's why I'm able to kind of move around the line.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, listen, I'm not drafting you. Don't give me some BS answer. Where do you want to play? I mean, do you want to start somewhere and see what can happen? I mean, where do you feel the most comfortable? Where do you think you bring the most value, to the team?
Yeah, so I've been asked this probably 50 times this week. Media, teams, whatever it is.
Hey, we're just friends talking. All right, this is just two guys. This is just two guys.
A couple hours ago, and the honest answer I gave them, and the honest answer I gave the teams, and this is truly how I feel. I'm really appreciative to be able to even get a chance to be able to play in the NFL. Just honored to just feeling really blessed about even being in the opportunity I am now. So wherever a team thinks I'm going to best fit and help them win, I'm going to be happy to play offensive line for that team, and try to help the team win. I mean, I played center my freshman year. I played tackle the last 3 years. I'm just ready to contribute, and what gets me on the field and what best helps the offensive line and the team is really what I'm looking forward to playing. I don't have a preference. I really don't. And let's just
get on the field. Yeah, no question.
I want to be, so that's kind of how I have been answering that question.
Yeah. Well, I love that. And I think it's genuine. And, I think at the end of the day, what you see on your tape is you love football and you want to play football, and it doesn't matter, where you line up, whatever. One thing that kind of interests me before we kind of move on to Duke and talk about some of those things is, what is it you think it's going to be like getting into wherever you get drafted, getting into that locker room with, 30-year-old men who are going home to families and things like, have you thought about that yet? Where, you've kind of been the older guy, the guy everybody looks up to for, at least the last 2 years, to now, kind of starting back on the bottom of that food chain, but still, probably being a very early contributor.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, I think that's the nature of the NFL, right? You've got people with families and kids and, houses and stuff and mortgages and, and I just, I'm 21 years old and that's the reality of it. But I think, how you've got to, I mean, one, I'm an outgoing guy. I'm a pretty extroverted person. Like, I feed off the energy of others. I love being in the locker room. Like, I love the camaraderie of football. So I think that'll show, wherever locker room I'm in. So, I think I'll enjoy being around them, and I think they'll enjoy being around me. But, I think you've got to earn the respect of the older guys. And that's through, how you approach football, every day, and how you show up to the facility, what you're doing in the facility. Do you have a process? Are you habitual? How serious is it to you? And so I think, that's kind of, how, I want to earn the respect of those older people and who know, okay, this guy's serious. He wants to help us win and he's here for the long haul. And so I think that's kind of how you've got to, earn the respect of those guys and get them to trust you and kind of bring you in and help you out.
Yeah, man, I love that. That's a great answer. One way that you can earn respect, and I'm just going to give you a little bit of advice here. You're probably going to be drafted in the first round, which means there's a lot of money involved. Really anywhere, it's a lot of money involved. But don't be like the last Duke guy that I saw go highly in the first round. Daniel Jones was out getting ice cream with his mother. Again, this guy just signed for $60 million. And his mom paid for the ice cream. Can you please pay for Mama Barton's ice cream if you guys go out after you're drafted? Can you promise me that?
I can promise you that I will pay for my mother's ice cream, yes.
And if you see Daniel, say, what are we doing, man? Get it together, brother. That's crazy.
I will.
I was shocked when I saw that. I saw that. Let's talk about the Blue Devils a little bit, man, because it's been a fun ride, right? To see this, to see where Duke has gotten, the changes that you guys were able to make during your career. I mean, what did that mean to you? Did you ever think it was kind of possible, the things that you guys did when you were recruited there, when you were coming in?
Yeah, well, when I was recruited there and coming in, the state of the program was actually really good. They just won a bowl game.
Yeah.
We just mentioned Daniel just got picked pretty early in the first round. There's a good young core with guys like Jacob Monk and Eli Pankel and Dwayne Carter and Calhoun, and so there's a good young core of players. There's talent that had just come through the program, and they were winning. And so I think just with all the adversity kind of we hit with COVID and just the difficulties we faced and underperforming the way we did. And, it was tough. And so, I've been asked this question a lot this week too, how'd you guys do it? And to be honest with you, it's our best players. We're our best leaders, our locker room, you look at guys like Dwayne Carter and Jacob Monk and Riley Leonard, guys who are, those were our best leaders. Those are, we were the hardest workers, right? It's not like you've got the best talented guys or the ones who are slacking off and know that they'll be all right. It's the guys who cared the most and were the most passionate about what we were doing. Were the biggest producers on the field. And so I think we had, the locker room and we had the culture. And I think when Coach Elko came in, Coach Feely and our position coaches and Coach Johns, I just think that we got the direction we needed. It was like, hey, here's the recipe, and we were given the recipe, and I just think we got total buy-in, right? There was 100% buy-in from top to bottom. Like, we need this, badly, and we bought in. And when you get that buy-in, you can do pretty special things. And I just think we, that's what happened. And it's a lot of hard work, and it's not always fun. And, it's not super glamorous, and it sometimes it sucks, but it's what it takes to turn something around, in the way we did. And so, it's something I'll always look back about, being super proud to just be a part of it and, get to be with those guys.
Yeah. A couple of moments from this season that had to have just been special. Number one, kicking the crap out of my Tigers. I mean, number one, it hurt me to be there. But I was so happy for you guys at the same time, because I've developed this relationship with you and Dwayne and Riley and, a lot of these guys on this team where, it's, you're just like, that's amazing. How cool was that? Because again, the line, and you and I talked about this before the game, the opportunity that you have to really separate yourself. This is one of those games because you're going against a defensive line that all those guys are going to be in the NFL, and you played really well. Yeah. What was that moment like, that game like after the fact?
Yeah. Obviously, it was a big win for our program. Monday night, only game on, NFL hadn't started yet. So, I mean, it's a big game for Duke and just, we're not Clemson. We don't have the Saturday primetime spot every week. We don't have a sold out 100,000 person stadium named Death Valley, so it's a big game for Duke that we didn't, that opportunity doesn't come around a ton to open a season like that for us. And, so it meant a lot to us, and obviously we came in and then we executed and, game, kind of just, we say that luck is when hard work and preparation, that makes luck, you know what I mean? So, we came in and we won. And I guess just the coolest part was getting to be a part of a field storming. That's always, I think, a bucket list, for an athlete. It's like get to be a part of a team when, and seeing all the fans run out and how happy everyone is. Like, it's just a cool moment that you'll never forget. And so, like, beating Clemson was great, and we had a good time, and I'm sorry about it, but I mean, that's just the coolest part that you'll always remember is celebrating with your guys after a win like that, a top 10 win, and so we enjoyed it, and it was a good game, and we knew the stakes going in and the talent that they have on that defensive side of the ball, and we felt like we were ready, we felt like we were up to the task, and we had prepared well, and that's kind of what happened.
Yeah, you absolutely were. And again, the offensive line looked fantastic that entire game. I was very impressed with just the unit. Obviously you played really well, but the unit, I thought, came together and did what needed to be done. And obviously you get the big win there. The second game that I really wanted to bring up, we won't talk about the result because that, it made me a little sad, but game day comes to town to Duke for the first time ever. I mean, that had to be just a really, really cool moment to be on the team that can say that lives forever. Legends like that.
Yeah. It's game day's never been here, right? And so we're like I said, another big moment for Duke football and the program and the university. We've never had it for football, and so
Yeah.
it's a big moment. Just seeing that much hype, and it was homecoming too. So just seeing that much hype and love for this program, it's cool to be a part of something that was so meaningful to so many people, and something that everyone will always remember. So yeah, it was awesome, and what a kind of crazy season. We dealt with a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, I had my fair share of ups and downs with injuries, and we some other starters, and so yeah. But I mean, just dealing with adversity like that, getting those moments, that's what football's all about, right? It's never going to be perfect, but it's just about how you respond. So
Yeah,
it was pretty cool,
and doing it together.
Yeah,
doing it with your brothers, doing it with your
brothers,
teammates.
yeah.
It's a big deal. All right, one guy, last one. We'll get you out of here. Two more, we'll get you out of here. But a guy that you've mentioned a lot, and I've been waiting to talk about him, is our guy, Coach Feely. One of the best in the country. We just actually won an award that called him the best in the country at what he does. His passion, his enthusiasm, selflessness. I mean, you obviously know him way better than I do, but the interactions that I've had, I see all that with him and the way that he loves what he does. Is he kind of the secret sauce to what Duke has going on? I mean, the fact that he's still there when a coaching staff goes west to Texas and he wants to stay, he wants to be a part of it. I mean, just talk about him for a second.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's one thing you get these strength coaches, who are, old school and intense and, just, not super nice and all that. And that's one thing, right? But when you have someone who's, Coach Feely's intense, and it takes one interaction with him to know that, but he's consistent, he's intense, he knows what needs to be done, but he loves his players. And that's what, that from him. He might, like he's going to be on you. I don't know how to say this like appropriately, but he's going to be on.
And we can
you.
censor it out. We can bleep it out. Say what you need to
It's
say.
not going to be the most like pleasant, every time. Like if you're slacking off, he's going to let you know. If you're not up to the standard, he's going to let you know. But in the back of your mind that this guy really cares about me, and he's doing this because he loves me and he wants the best for me. And so I think that's when it comes from a place of love and respect. It's you get something really special. And I mentioned earlier, we just needed we had a great locker room and a great player driven culture, but we needed a little bit of guidance. I think we needed a here's the recipe. And like a half of that was showing up in January and him just, absolutely drilling into us, like, here's what it takes to win. Here's how hard it's going to be. And you either get on board or, get out. And that was, and we were like, all right, we're on board. And,
Wow.
it's like, and so, we just put our trust in him and Coach Elko and, so his winter conditioning and summer conditioning and that whole program, it puts, what hard work is, and you're putting in everything you've got. And I just think you come out the other side really, really, appreciative of that and really happy with that. And I think, absolutely. He's been the secret sauce, building that culture and helping us, put it together. He'll never take any of it. He'll always say it's because of us and the people we are. But I think, it's just as much him and holding us to that standard that we set as much as it's us coming in every day and showing up and doing the work. So, can't say enough about him. He's been a big impact in my life, and, don't want to say that to his face, but
that's right. We won't let him watch this. That's right. That's right. We won't tell him. We won't tell him.
But yeah, he's as good as they come, as good as they advertise. Absolutely deserving of that award, and every year is deserving of that award. So can't say enough good about him.
Yeah, he puts in the work. And I think you can tell that, you can see that, and he will never go through the motions. I mean, just passionate as it gets. And I think what people don't really understand. They might listen to this and hear you talk about this. Man, we are around the strength coaches so much more than any other coach. Like the relationship that we have, if you want it, if you like it, if you're built for that, can be really powerful. Same thing with me, man, with Coach Batson back at Clemson and the things that he did for us. It's just, they're molding you. I mean, they're really the ones that turn you into these freaks that, walk out there each and every day. And speaking of, last one, man, as I promised, and we'll get you out of here.
No, you're good.
How did Duke prepare you for what's next, man? The university, the strength staff, the coaching staff, everything about the community. How did they make you into this man to take this next step?
Yeah, I mean, I got asked this. I just got asked a bunch. This week especially. Why I chose Duke. Why are you at Duke? Why like and to be honest with you, I start by saying just when I got there, just the people I was able to meet. And it's a small campus, but everyone here is so passionate about Duke and what it can do for you and what the resources here and the network here and it's a really exclusive fraternity of people, right? There's only 6,000 undergrad here. It's a small school. There's like no more than 1,200 in a class. And so it's really special, and it was so cool to be a part of it. It just felt meaningful to me. I wanted to, be a part of something that, I felt, I wasn't just, a piece of a big, puzzle that, I could really had, a say and could really be influential. And I think, just being able to meet some of the guys I met, on my visits, it was something that it was a no brainer to me. And then, being here, just the access you have and the care here, it's a very it's almost like a boutique school, right? And it's just like you get so much personalized attention. The coaches I've had here, I've learned so much from Coach Cut and Coach Elko, and just how awesome it is to be able to get coached by two people like that. Duke's no joke. Class is hard. And football is hard, and it's a long day, right? It's long hours. There's no online class, there's no like you're in class, you're getting, and if you're not, you're in trouble because you're not like, and you're in tutors, right? And you're in, meetings, and you've got all still trying to be a high achieving college football player. And we both know that to do that, like your day doesn't end when practice ends. You've got treatment, and you've got to go get something in the weight room, and you've got to watch film, and you've got to watch practice. So it's like you're being a full-time, student athlete, just like everyone else. But then you've got like a really, demanding academic schedule on top of that. But, it just teaches you discipline. It teaches you, how to operate. And, everyone always says like, man, the real world is so much harder than college. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm still going to challenge that idea. So it's hard, but going through hard every day with guys that you love, it's so special, and it just creates these deep bonds that, it's hard to explain if you haven't been through it. And, I'm grateful for it. I would, knowing everything I do now, I'd go back and do it again. So, so, I mean, it's special, and just really, can't say enough good things about Duke and everything it's done for me and the things I've learned here. And, just, it's awesome.
Well, you're a great ambassador for them, and I know they're very grateful for you, all the things that you've done for that university, man. This was fantastic, brother. I appreciate you. I'm so excited for your future, and we'll see her. Cheers to what's to come, my man.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me on. Always a pleasure.
All right, guys, how much fun was that? Listen, I tried to tell you, he's great. He's an amazing guy. Loved everything that he said about Duke, making him into the man that he is today, the way that they were able to do that. Coach Feely, my guy, come on. I miss you. I need to get out to Durham and get some lifts in. Coach knows what I'm talking about. Every time that we go to Duke, we get to hang out with him in the Iron Palace there down below. Maybe some call it a dungeon. And just, again, everything that Graham was telling us, the versatility piece is going to be fascinating. I think he's a first-round lock. I really do. I've said that for 2.5 years now, 1.5 years. And it just really matters comes to matter, where do you want to play him? What are your needs? If you have one on the offensive line, get him, because he can do all of them and then more. So excited to see where he ends up. Appreciate you guys. We need you to continue support. Go over to YouTube, subscribe, leave some comments. I'd love to hear some NFL fans what you think of Graham Barton, where you want him to end up. And, of course, the OGs over on Apple Podcasts. Rate, review, subscribe there as well. But until next time, we'll see y'all.